So when you wrap things up, you really want to take a look at what you have, what you can do to change what you have. Will the change make it better? Will the change bring in a larger file size? You want to think about all of that stuff. So let's take a look at what we have so far in our game. We have pickups, and if you followed along, you created coins. We have a third-person controller, and we have other prefab objects we can add around the island. I decided that for my pickup, I wanted to make a treasure chest. So I went to the Unity Asset Store. The Asset Store, remember way back when? You go to Window, Asset Store, and I typed in treasure chest. And once the search brought that about, I selected free treasure chest, and I found an asset that I like, so I downloaded it into the game. And then once I did that, well, let me close this window for you. Remember? Right click, close tab. Once I added it to the game, it was pretty large, so I needed to resize it, and I used my scaler to do that, and I added a collision to it because remember, our coin had to have a collision. I added a tag for pickup, and I changed my script to note that it's not coins collected, that I have treasure chests. And then I didn't want to say you're rich. That's what I had before. Your pockets are full is what I had before. So I just changed it to the win thing to say you are a great collector. So I wanted to make sure that I had all of those components because it's all connected to one. So if you're going to add a different collectible item, be sure that it's tagged. Be sure that it has a collision factor added to it, and the collision must be a trigger because the third person has to run into it in order to trigger it to be counted. Remember that part. And it has to have the tag of the pickup in order to be counted as well. So that's one component. The other component is this third person. He was pretty gray before. So all I did was I went into the characters and the third person, and I found a texture. And this is the texture right here. It's very plain. And I took that texture and I took it into a program like Photoshop or GIMP, and I just painted some color on there randomly. So this is kind of a random thing. I just did it really quickly because if you look at it, it's pretty strange to look at, and if you don't understand that unwrap process, you just kind of just have to guess. So I did that, and then I brought that texture back into this particular component right here, and I dragged it to the third person, and that just gave some color to the third person. Another option would be to create your own character. Now I've provided you with an Autodesk link, Autodesk generator link, and if you have taken 151 or you're taking at the same time, you have an account and you can use this to create little characters to bring in. And if that's what you want to do, then try it. Just try to follow along and see what happens. If you need more help, always contact me at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a character that I already created. So let me go ahead and open up that folder. Now I'm going to bring this character in. It's an FBX file that I created in something called Fuse. And Fuse used to be a free component, and then Adobe purchased Fuse. And you can actually go to Fuse and get a trial offer if you want to try it. But that's what I used, and I'm just going to take this yellow woman. I have no idea, I created it a long time ago. I'm going to drag the yellow woman into my models folder. Normally, I would have created another folder that said yellow woman or something like that and go from there. But I'm going to drag that in, and it may take Unity a little while to read the files. But this particular FBX, I went ahead and animated in a program, so it has animations, it is rigged, and it should be ready to go within Unity. I don't have to rig it as I would in the Autodesk character generator. So I bring it in, and it's telling me that there are a few things that need to be fixed. And this also happened when I brought in the treasure chest. So I'm going to say fix now and let Unity fix those options as they feel it needs to be fixed. So my yellow woman has been added now, and I'm just going to select the yellow woman here and go over to the rig just to make sure and select humanoid because it is a humanoid. I'm going to create it from this file and select apply. And what this does is it makes sure that the rigging that was added in the application that was not Unity, the outside application, it just makes sure that those two components are the same. And you can do the same thing with this particular FBX as I state in the text with the Autodesk generator. Let's just see if it works, shall we? So I'm going to drag this out a little bit and take my little character and bring her out. Ooh, look at her. She's like a big Amazon woman or something. And I see that her stance is in the idle stance that I requested it to be in. So I'm just going to select play and see what happens. See how it looks. She's pretty stagnant there. So I may need to change some stuff with this particular model. So what I'm going to do, since we see the stance is a crazy stance, is I'm going to configure this particular model. Yes, I want to save everything before I begin to configure. Just a good idea to save, and save often. I can't stress that enough. Save your scene, save your file. So now Unity says let's configure this avatar, this yellow woman, and it brings up the bones. And the bones are all pretty much green. I have the green light, so that's good. Everything's matching up. But I think for mapping, I want to do an auto map, and I want to enforce the T pose. And once I've done that, I can select apply and done. Now I'm going to tell you this, that what I'm showing you is a little advanced. So if you don't want to do this, that's fine. You can keep the little Ethan guy in there. Do whatever you want. Go find a free character on the asset store. Maybe they have a pirate. Maybe they have someone who's ready to go for a swim, or whatever it is that you're looking for. Bring it in. So now I'm going to select the play option again just to see what's happening. We still have the same thing going on. Don't even have a T option. But I'm going to drag this little character here and line it up with Ethan as best I can. Just takes a little bit of moving and changing and shifting. And then I'm going to take the yellow woman and drag the yellow woman in to be a part of the third person. So when I select play, they should move together. See that? Yep, they're pretty much together, dropped in the water just as before. So I'm going to undo that and come over to the third person. And the third person has something in the inspector window that is called the avatar. And right now it is following the Ethan avatar. So I want to change that. And I want to change it to the yellow woman avatar. Select it once or double click. Now let's see what happens. Look there. The yellow woman actually has the Ethan movement. But you know, there's a little bit of a problem with how she moves. She's kind of sideways. You know, maybe that's how we lined her up. So we need to change that. Oh yes, much better. And can the yellow woman collect the, oh yes, the treasure chest is collected. So that's great. Now all we have to do is remove anything that says Ethan. So we'll go back into our game after we unselect the run. Anything that has Ethan on it, I'm going to highlight and delete and continue. So guess what? Now all I have is this woman. So all I need to do is make some adjustments, and one is the camera follow. Remember the camera follow? We had to add Ethan on there. If you look now, it's not following because Ethan is gone. So another thing we have to fix is to have the camera follow the yellow woman right here. Select, find the yellow woman. It's saying, what do you want us to follow? I want you to follow the yellow woman. Please follow the yellow woman, and the yellow woman will be followed. That's pretty good, huh? Not too shabby. Look at that. Brought in your own little avatar. So what else do you have to think about in the wrap up? Well, if you play the game, once you collect all your pickups, you can just move around and move around and move around. You can't even quit the game. So why not add that little option to quit the game? Why not give your friends and your family an option to quit at any time they want? Maybe they've only selected 2 pickups and that's all they want to do. They need to go take care of something. If you add an application quit into the script, they can just select whatever key that you tell them to select, and whatever that is, you can use Q for quit if you want, you know, it's up to you, but whatever key that is, they can quit the game. So what we did was we add that in our player script, and we add it into the update component. And I just added the escape key because that just seems to work for me. What do you want to do? You want to escape. You want to get out of there. So escape means to quit. You want to quit the application. And you just add that in there and boom, they're ready to go. So that, my friends, is a little bit of wrap up.